Hello, Derek.
Hey, Coach.
How are you, Eric?
Good. All right, media, we got Coach Nagy with us, and
You
we
can
can
go
get
ahead.
started. Jason
Hi,
Leisure.
guys, ladies.
Jason Leisure.
Hey, Matt. It seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that you guys have not played up to the level that you expect, that you want. But to be 4-1 at this point, when you've played the way you have, seems like kind of a gift. What do you think in light of that about the opportunity ahead of you now?
Yeah, you know what? I think that for us, that's right. You're exactly right. For us to be 4-1 and play really the way we're playing offensively, for us, we just feel like there's some things that we're learning through these games of how we're winning. They're not pretty. Now there's the game in Atlanta where you had to come back and we scored some points in the fourth quarter, and the same as the first game of the year. Didn't have points and then all of a sudden put up 21 in the fourth quarter. So those quarters are exciting. The other quarters, in particular, the third quarter, are the ones that we got to get a lot better in. So I think where you stay excited is the fact that you are 4-1 as a team, because ultimately in the end that's what matters. In the end, that's what matters. Now, how you get there, you want it to look better, but that's what we're working towards right now, and that's what we got to get to as soon as we can.
Dan Wiederer. Dan,
I can't hear you, Dan.
we can't hear you, Dan. We'll come back to you. JJ.
Hey, Matt, I'm curious, when you looked at your team over the last couple of years in the offseason, when you did your self-scout, did you look at your record after these mini buys or after true bye weeks? I know you're 1-4 in them. And did you turn up anything that you maybe have changed going into this game?
We looked into that last year, just kind of getting a feel for where we're at. Coming from Coach Reed's deal, with him, he was so good after the bye weeks. I think he had like an 18. I don't know what his record was, but it was pretty good. And obviously that's not happening here. So for us, JJ, it's a deal with this year, with everything being a little bit different. Every day the schedule is a little bit different. Things are a little, just how we're doing things. So it's kind of an asterisk in regards to the schedule and what we're doing. But I think the biggest thing is to make sure that are these guys mentally and physically healthy. This is the last week for us where we keep our normal reps in practice. So we start kicking it back rep wise, starting next week a little bit, not a lot. But I think the biggest thing is probably just making sure that we're not doing anything too out of the ordinary, which I don't think we are.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, and I know we asked you about Le'Veon Bell yesterday, but I am curious, he's known as a good pass catcher. With Tariq being hurt, do you feel like you need to fill that void with a running back or somewhere else? And would he have helped in that regard?
Yeah, I would say for us, again, like I just know how we feel and how I feel. And we love our running back situation here right now. So again, I think that Le'Veon is a good football player and a good running back, and leaving that up to Ryan. But we're just really happy with our situation here. And we feel like we have guys, to your question in regards to catching the ball and doing things, we have guys that can do that and run the ball between the tackles.
Dan, we'll try you again.
Is this working now? Yeah,
I got you. Yep.
Tech support. So I'm curious where you're at in your early evaluations of Lamar Miller, and in a best case scenario, how you envision him sort of potentially helping as time goes on here.
Right. No, we all know what Lamar Miller has done and what kind of back he's been in his career. I mean, he's done a lot of really good things, and we have some coaches that have coached him, and Bill Lazor and Charles London. So right now, being able to see him get back to where he wants to be and where we want to be is what's important. And when he gets to that point, now you're looking at just being able to strengthen that running back room and give you a guy that can obviously run between the tackles. I think he fits well into our scheme and what we do. He can catch the football, and he's got experience. So he could be a valuable running back for us. And we just got to take it day by day, week by week, and really see where his strengths at. with his injury and coming back from that. And I think so far, so good. So we're going to keep that thing going.
Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, you mentioned yesterday a couple changes, it seemed like this week in response to some of the COVID stuff going on. I was just wondering if you might be able to clarify it a little bit. Are you guys still meeting in person in the mornings, then having practice, and then kind of shifting some of the meetings to more Zoom later in the day? And then you also mentioned some travel stuff, taking 2 planes. Are you actually taking 2 planes this week, or are there any other travel changes this week?
No, yeah. So number one, the schedule change for us with being able to have fewer and farther. So the one, like I said yesterday, is let's do the walkthrough. We are meeting in the morning in person because we have this Walter Payton Center that's spaced out. Players are 16 to 20 feet away in that area. So we feel comfortable with that. And that's for our installs. And then we go and we do our walkthrough, and we go right from walkthrough, like when you all come out, and it's we go right into practice. Now that practice is done, these guys are coming back, and now they go home and they get out. When typically they would stay here and we would meet individually, now they go home and we set up times to Zoom with them. So that's one way for us to be able to fewer and farther and limit with where we're at right now in our situation. And then in regards to the travel, I'm pretty sure we are. I'm pretty sure that we are taking 2. So, but that we have before, and we're going to continue to. So taking 2 planes is just nice because now you're more spaced out. You're able to, the players know that how much we care about them and what we're doing. And then the buses as well. It's the same thing. We have a shuttle bus here at practice that can take the guys after practice back and forth. We try to limit that as much as we can because we feel like we're going above and beyond. We hope our players feel that from us. And I think when you had a positive test with BT, it doesn't turn into a lot more so far, knock on wood. And I think that's a credit to how we're doing things and the players.
Dion Miller.
Hey, Matt, in what ways are you seeing Nick really take ownership of the offense in a way that you feel like is going to set them up for success quickly?
Yeah, it's been more in meetings and communication with the coaches and myself. Been more discussions, more, he's just feeling more comfortable now conceptually. He can get a feel for where we're at and what we're doing and the strengths of the other players. But he'll grab a player in between, in practice, in between a drive, and talk to a guy about a specific route that he ran and why he liked it or didn't like it. I think the biggest thing is just really seeing him communicate through his experiences that he had and has had here the last couple of weeks.
Chris Emma.
Hey, Matt, Mike Davis is off to a strong start here with the Panthers. When you look back on last season with the time that you had him, it's kind of self-scouted that. Did you think of anything maybe you could have used him any differently? Was there a way that you kind of identified that one?
Not necessarily, but I will say this. I have a lot of respect for Mike Davis. I think that he is a very good football player. We obviously thought that when we brought him in as a free agent, and he's a really good person. He runs hard. He's doing everything that they're asking him to do. I mean, you're seeing him break tackles. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in broken tackles or yards after contact. They're putting him on screens. He's smart. He's good in protection. I just have a lot of respect for him. And for us, we ended up having the ability to get David, last year after we picked up Mike. So we had a couple backs there, and then with Tariq, and so it just happened to be that way. But Mike Davis is really respectful as he left here, and he's playing really well.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, excuse my ignorance on this, but what do you envision Cole Kmet's ultimate role as the wide tight end? Because that's like an inline position. A lot of times that's just a blocker. I know you expect more than that from him, but even if he's not going to be Travis Kelce, what as he develops and as your offense develops, what's a good comp? What's the right comp for him?
Yeah, I would say for him, it's going to be just like you're saying. It would be to be a wide tight end that does really well in the pass game. And so he needs to be able to hold the point in the run game. You can't be one-dimensional. You got to be able to do some things in the run game. But yet you still need to be a matchup for us in this offense as a Y tight end. And other times you can put a guy like Demetrius as the Y and have Cole as the U. And now he's spread out more. He's broken from the line of scrimmage. And so I just think that you're going to see more and more of that with him. As far as comparisons per se, he like you said, he's different than Kelsey. He's more of that. He's probably going to kind of create his own little way of what he is, because he's twitchier and he's a little faster, to tell you the truth, than I thought originally when I watched him on tape. I think he has more movement to him, which is pretty cool to see. And then in the line of scrimmage, he's doing a good job there too. So I'm really excited to see his arrow up.
A couple more for Coach. Phil Thompson.
Thank you, Matt. So looking at the Panthers offense, they scored their most points at the end of halves, second and fourth quarter. They're also, they had their highest time of possession in the last 15 years for their team. Your defense is really good at getting teams off the field. What is it that they do that helps sustain drives, especially at the end of halves, and put points on the board? And what do you do to stop them?
Right. So what they're doing, Phil, on the front end is, before they get to the end of the halves, is they're getting into third and very, very manageable down and distances. So, so 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and they're successful there. So they're then so instead of going first down to first down, they're going first down, second down, and third down, making it manageable and getting another first down. And now that time of possession creeps up. So all of a sudden, before you know it, they're in a really long play drive. They're using Teddy in a really good way, using screens the right way, taking shots when they need to. And then they got some playmakers on the outside with speed. So I think when you have speed at the end of halves, second quarter, fourth quarter, when teams are in more prevent type defenses, they're going to get the ball and do things. And I think that's probably what you're seeing most of right now.
We have time for one more. Joe Lewis.
Yeah. Hey, Coach. I'm going into the 6th game of this season. David Montgomery has still yet to reach 20 carries a game. In fact, over 4 of those games, his carries have decreased. Outside of the obvious, you all playing some very tough defenses, is there a reason for the carries decrease, and how can you better make him more effective in the running game going forward?
Right. Yep. So 2 things. Number one is as far as the carries, like, we want to be able to get him to 20 carries. I've told him 20 carries is a lot of carries. If you're looking at by quarter, 16 going into the fourth quarter is a high amount of carries and touches going into the fourth. Because then in the fourth, if you're winning, you get another 4 carries, you reach that 20 in 4-minute mode. What's happened is we're the opposite. We're playing from behind in 2-minute mode. So he's not getting carries. He's getting more protections and then, catches. You saw last week, he had catches. So in a perfect world, let's get him 20 carries and see what he can do with it, because he's the type of back that is going to be able to give you body shots and beat you down. He breaks a lot of tackles and he's going to take one the distance. And so we just got to get in that situation. And the last 2 weeks, to me, were the ones that were difficult. The ones before that, the first 3 weeks, I thought you felt like our run game, you could feel our run game the first 3 weeks. And he still didn't have a lot of carries because we were behind. And so he lost the fourth quarter, right? But man, it would be great to be able to get him those carries early on and then finish with him getting those carries in the end with the lead.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care.